to another episode of the Blathering Live. I'm Ken Napzok. How are you doing? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. You're here. You're here. Everyone's here for 217th episode, I think, of the ongoing series in which we look at the world and try to survive. Oh no, I forgot my water. Oh no. Mom! I live alone. Not after Sunday. My dog comes home. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun tonight? No, maybe. I don't know. Ahead, I got NFL picks. That's right. We're gonna update you on the NFL picks. You know, we're going to have some special... I keep promising that we're going to have special guests popping in to the NFL pick segment, and I haven't been able to lock down those guests yet. But next week, I think we got one. We are going to also look a little closer at two gates, Grinder Gate and Escalator Gate. Escalator Gate is more about your experiences of the escalator. I wanted to maybe review the footage of the false prophet president and the most beautiful first lady in all of history, according to Jesse What's-His-Nuts over on Fox News. Yeah, gorgeous lady. But come on. James K. Polk's wife, I think it was Sarah Polk? Do you all remember Sarah? Maybe? I don't know. Look it up. You know. It's been a week. We also got the return of the list tonight. I was making a list of here's what I wanted to do for the show tonight. I wanted to say, everyone gather around. Gather around. I don't quite know which direction I'm going to go. I don't think I'm going to be overly serious tonight. I really don't. This is one of those days where you look at the news, and the 24-second news cycle is the 12-second news cycle. Like, I even went the last second. I went to Ground News, where I do go to get news, though they're not a sponsor. I'm not big enough for them to consider me as a possible show to sponsor. But one day we can have dreams. Let's manifest it, kids. Let's manifest Ground News promo codes for me. Then I'd have to do a live read during every commercial or every show. I went to check in. James Comey, former FBI director, indicted today. This after, Trump let his DM to Pam Bondi slip to the public and go get my enemies. No surprise there. I'm still reeling from the UN speech that he delivered. Actually, one of the more bizarre moments in now two presidencies, for me personally. We don't need to rank Trump bizarre moments, but that UN speech was unexplainable. But also, it was quite frankly mesmerizing in how troubling. I don't know what it was. Freaky to watch. Anti-fascist now on a list. You're an enemy of the state. That seems like something to be concerned about. And then a lot of other things too. You could look at anywhere, spin the globe, pick a spot. Sudan, Gaza, Ukraine, pick a spot. Congo, much more out there. Down the street with the people struggling in your neighborhood. There's a lot of things. I didn't want to sit in it today too much. Also, the biggest thing of all for me still, again, personal look at the news, is Stephen Miller repurposed an actual speech from Joseph Goebbels from 1932. I'm not going to stop mentioning that yet. I'm mentioning that in person to people. I had lunch today with my aunt. We were talking about it. And she didn't know what was. I want the world to just know that the architect of all of the shit going on, that guy gave a speech in which he, beat for beat, reworked a speech from Adolf's architect of all that went on. I don't know. So there you go. But beyond that, so we're going to have a little fun. Oh, tonight, too, I want to highlight some. Jump around with my brain. Jump around. Jump. Jared's not going to be here. No Game of Thrones talk tonight. Here is promo. If you're out in the neck of the woods in Plymouth area, This Saturday, 9 to 12 at the New World Tavern. Concept of a Plan is playing. So if you can get out, look up those details, reach out to Jared if you're in the Patreon page and the Discord page, and go support that band. Go support that band. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Svetnik asks a very important question. Did you change your setup? Something looks different. Not bad, just different. I accidentally had to. There's a teleprompter on my screen, and it lowers my camera, so I had to pull everything back. And then, things were things were really dark, even though I have all the lights on. So I opened up the iris a little bit in the old camera. So it looks slightly different. I kind of like this. Forces me to look up, erases the chin. But this is for the list. I put a poll up here. We also got a little bit, I think we got some science tonight. Last minute science from Dr. Addy. Oh, Addy just sent me something. Let me do some producing work behind the scenes. We're going to get that happen. No, Addy, you don't need to apologize for that. I'm excited for this. I was futzing around with my technical stuff before the show, and that's why I forgot water. That's why I forgot the water. And, where did that go? Oh, I'll work on that, Eddie, in just a second. All right, I'm losing momentum. Faster, more intense. Producer Steve's here. Producer Steve, I've checked in with Producer Steve throughout the last week or so. You know, I've left him alone. You don't want to get in his face. How'd the baby? He's doing okay. So there's that. Andrew Cook says, did you see the good news that the Spanish and Italian navies sent a ship each to protect the flotilla, bringing supplies to Gaza? I did not see that. Oh, that's kind of where I was going. I was running down the list of news stories. I didn't see that. There's so much stuff. And then, U.S. to impose 100% tariffs on branded, patented drugs unless firms build plants locally. Farmers are, dying in the streets. You're seeing these stories. Now, mind you, a lot of these farmers probably voted for Trump, but I'm not one to withhold water to a thirsty man just because they voted against water, okay? I'll give you the water. The farming industry we see is collapsing. We see us paying for $32 hamburgers. It's just spinning out of control for a lot of reasons, but then you see that's going on. But see, I don't want to get into the news tonight. I mean, I do. I want to yell. I don't want to yell anymore. I want to find some kind of humor in the world again. And some of the humor for me was Escalator Gate. I put a poll up here. If you're watching live, the poll is, have you ever died on an escalator? Yes, 12%. So we got some wonderful ghosts in the audience. No's leading in the clubhouse with 65%, almost 24%. Obviously, that is a bit of a cheeky question. And I am absolutely aware that escalators can pose a bit of a danger. Why? Well, for about 14 of my 17 years in the public safety business, I was at a location, the Northridge Fashion Center, that has 9 escalators. And escalators are a thing, man. I know way more about escalators than I want to know. And yeah, there's bad things that can happen. They also are very expensive. They're very expensive to maintain. And even the slightest movement stops them instantaneously, especially if they're a little old. Like the amount of times I have had to walk up and down, actually the amount of times I've had to run up and down stopped escalators is a lot. The amount of times I've been on escalators and they've stopped, even when I was in a uniform security position, it's countless. This is a pretty common occurrence. At the UN, I don't know. You'd think they'd be highly maintained escalators, but I find it beyond hilarious that the procession led by the First Lady. I want to point out, led by the First, which I'm not saying that if she was like, I'm going first, that's great for her. I'm just saying I thought it was a little weird that she was like, all right, I'll go first. I don't know if I expected a Secret Service officer before that. I don't know. It's the dangerous UN, according to everyone over at Fox and Newsmax. And it stops, and it's like, but I have not stopped laughing. I have watched the footage of the false prophet president getting stuck on that elevator and that look. And we know he's infamously and weirdly afraid of stairs, doesn't like stairs. I don't even think it's because of a health issue. I think he probably feels the act of walking upstairs is beneath him, that there's something about it that he just, nope, I shouldn't have to do that. I'm Donald J. Trump. I think that's a little bit of what that's about. But that look on his face where he just realizes that the entire world has watched an escalator stop on him and he's going to have to walk up. Like, he knows in that moment. And I haven't stopped laughing for it this week. Laughing from it this week. And like I said, I have seen countless babies stumbling down escalators. I've said this before. If you're a young parent, Steve, producer Steve, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Steve, your rebel rouser hair. If you're at a mall with your newborn in a stroller, you do not go up that escalator. You do not go down it. You do not go up it. I have seen, I'm not talking like 1, 2, 5. I have seen in 17 years, probably close to 20 babies on camera, because we always we get reported afterwards. I have seen about 20 babies tumble down escalators. Not good, not pretty. All right? So Steve, you strap that baby in and you go to the elevator. You don't go to the escalator. You wait at the elevator. And I have seen so many humans. And this might be America in a bit of a microcosm. This just seeing it up front. As a stand-up comic, you kind of see all of the country come to your stage, and you kind of get a different picture of it. And it's sometimes encouraging, sometimes discouraging. But back in my security days, there would be these big giant, we eventually, to cover our own asses, the mall ownership would put these big giant red, annoying, ugly, not aesthetically pleasing signs on both ends of the escalator that would say, do not take your stroller on the escalator with the baby in it. Pull it off, separate them. Is that what you do with a baby? Do you pull them off? Hold the kid, don't take the elevator. Big sign. Elevator's over there. Do not go on here. Every parent thinks they got this. And percentage-wise, 17 years, only 20 babies, I guess you do. But trust me, one baby bounces down an escalator, it looks like Wolverine got to them. You get my point. So, all that to say, I understand the look on the false prophet president's face, because he probably has the dexterity and the agility of a baby, and he thought this is gonna be bad for me. Apocalyptic roar in chat says the glare that Melania gives when the escalator goes out is priceless. Yes, it is. I'll tell you why. Because these are people not used to having to serve themselves, and that escalator was serving them. It's who doesn't enjoy a good escalator ride? So James asks a very important question. Oh, shout out to my cousin Michelle. Everyone say hello to cousin Michelle. Michelle, once again, I was at Aunt Liz's house today. We were talking about you. Real good gossip. No, James Holmes says, what causes more deaths? Vending machines or escalators, just like the mood. I think we should look that up. Because I know vending machines do kill, absolutely kill. So, and escalators too. Anyways, the poll, let's check the poll. We're still at 14% of my audience has died on an escalator. 64% no. 22% for almost. We've also got the list coming up here in a second. And then I've got to get, I got to get this. Why did the picture that Addie sent me did not work? Vending machines on escalators. Narcolepsy has a great point. That could work. All right, let's save this image. Got it. Okay, nope, I got it. Sorry, everybody. This is what happens when producer Steve tries to raise a family. Can't get the photo in on time. I gotta upload it myself. Steve. All right, the picture's loaded. We'll have some science here in a bit. The list coming up. Solskjaer99 says I had an auntie who refused to board them. I will say this, and I saw. By the way, the thing is, with all the things going on in the world, and this escalator stops, it's beyond parody that Jesse Waters and all the Newsmax people, Laura Ingraham, all these people, Caroline Levitt, all these people going on their shows, going on their grift shows, and selling the idea that we need to fire someone. We need to find out who did this. Jesse Waters is suggesting we need to bomb the place. And I have to believe in my heart they know it's a grift, but this was it's not a grift too far. But I think any news commentator, Newsmax, Fox News, or otherwise, who went on the air this week and seemed to seriously bring up Escalator Gate as an actual problem and that it needs to be investigated, even though it was kind of discovered that probably someone from his team had run up and down and probably jostled things. Again, I'm way more of an expert on escalators than I think I want to admit. That handrail, if you hold that handrail too hard and kind of move it, boom, stops. The reason I get so mad at kids running up and down, doing pranks, skateboarding, running down, doing, this is even before TikTok. I can only imagine now. It would literally, that's a $10,000 repair if the arm comes off. Those things stop like that. So anyways, I think to go on Fox News or Newsmax and talk about this seriously was them saying this grift is so good that we can do even this and you'll buy it. Because I bet some people are bought it. Super chat from producer Steve paying me back probably for some money. Maybe I owe him. No. Thank you for that. Producer Steve says, I've seen things you wouldn't believe. Diapers launched across mobiles. Bottles exploding at 3 a.m. All those moments lost in time, like tears informing them. Miss you all. I think, Steve, you might have some sort of poltergeist in your house. Vermont Mike is right. Ultimately, the real cause will never be found after his followers. After all, his followers will only believe it's a conspiracy. Yep, that's so true. That is so true. Mandalorian Jedi. I love that we're having serious escalator talk. If you just joined me tonight, welcome to the Blathering Live. I'm Cat Napzok. Happy you're here. We have science coming up. We have some sports at the top of the hour. I've got the list. I have terrible depth perception, says Mandalorian Jedi, and I have to hold on either side, both hands. You have to hold it with both hands. Yep. To get on an escalator. Super hard for me if you carry anything. I don't disagree with that. I have tripped up an escalator running to a fight, and it was moving, and I ran up, and I fell. They're painful. There we go. This is if somebody got that Blade Runner reference. I've never seen that movie. James Holmes says, good night, all. At least the rapture didn't happen. Put a pin in that. More rapture talk coming here in a second. The other thing I want to talk about here, briefly. Oh, and James Holmes, thank you for gifting subs to the channel. If you got a gift sub and you want to call into the show, pop in. Narcolepsy says there's no greater escalator than the escalator to nowhere from The Simpsons. I love that one. Addie got the information here. According to a 2024 article, escalators kill 30 people a year. Vending machines kill 13. Okay. There it is. Our leader in the clubhouse, escalators. The other, I won't even say big story this week, but over the weekend was the memorial for Charlie Kirk. I watched highlights. I didn't watch it, but I definitely... Definitely studied what was going on there. Oh, I have some thoughts, but if you watched it, you watched it. If you got something out of it, great. If you are turning your blind eye to Stephen Miller repurposing a speech from Joseph Goebbels, great, good for you. But the story came out this week, as has happened before, that Grindr, the shall we call it a dating app, the dating app that kind of started dating apps. Even Tinder is a parody, a play on Grindr. I'm going to assume my audience knows what Grindr is, and by the way, good for you all if you're on it. But the memorial was in Arizona, right? Phoenix, was it? And there was a report going around that the Grindr app had an outage because it's such great use. So that's a great story. That is totally a great story. But I wanted to make sure that we get the actual truth of it because I've seen this before. And I love thinking this is like the pizza tracker in Washington, D.C., which seems to be more, I think, factual. So this is from Snopes. I call it Snopes. Anyone call it Snoops? I guess it'd be 2 O's if it was Snoops. It's Snopes. Tens of thousands of supporters arrived on September 21st for the memorial service for Charlie Kirk. They call him the conservative activist. He was a propagandist. Let's make sure we call him that. Does that mean I think I'm not going to go. No. But here we go. Everyone's there. And people on X, Facebook, Reddit, many posts include many screenshots showing a spike in Grindr outage reports on the day of the memorial, as well as a heat map with outage reports focused in Phoenix, less than 20 miles from Glendale, which was the site of the service. The screenshots appeared to come from Down Detector, an online platform providing real-time information. Then they show a bunch of the shots, including the ones in my thumbnail tonight. According to, adding to the confusion, X's AI chatbot, Grok, provided conflicting responses to social media users asking about the legitimacy of this data. So at the end of the day, Grindr did not officially report this. But there's enough confusion and independent reporting to say that there could be some truth to this. It's important to know that while we can indicate that an issue may be occurring, we don't diagnose why the issue may be occurring or what may be happening. That is something the service experience issue can only know. Same is true for how many customers are actually impacted, said a spokesman for Ookla, which I believe is the company that runs Down Detector. They suggested that Snopes reach out to Grindr, and Grindr says no. Grindr says there were no outage reports on September 21st. So there goes on. But there's enough independent news, enough live heat maps that it fuels the conspiracy even more. But it fascinates me every time that story pops up. I, in a weird way, want it to be true. And I want to be clear, too. This is always the case around here with me. Like, I think sometimes, all the Republicans are on Grindr could be a punchline that punches back the wrong way. We're here fighting for equality and equity in all shapes and forms, and that includes sexuality and gender identity, all those things. So if like, hey, if getting on Grindr in Phoenix is your thing, and you have some fun in the hotel lobby bar and take it upstairs, I think want to be clear, that's okay. And the jokes shouldn't be about how bad that is or how deviant it is. It should be about how, for the most part, if true, the folks that so often would support political candidates or are political candidates that would continue to put into place policy or ideas into the world that would hurt a lot of these kind of communities, these kind of humans, these folks, that's not only just fun hypocrisy, it's something that should be called out, discovered, dealt with, and brought out into the open more. We could make the jokes, and I make them too, about Mike Johnson, Lindsey Graham, and all those things. But really, it's about this repressed identity that they may have, right? We don't know. And also, it's their right not to come out and publicly say things. I think that's important too. Should be left up to the individual. I don't like forcibly outing anyone, right? But all those stories, all those jokes, and I will make them, and I have to remind myself too, be careful of which way those jokes punch. But I wanted to look that story up. I wanted to confirm how real or unreal it was. It was just enough to maybe be real, but most likely not. Jerry, the Cannon Junkie's here. I got to get him on the show here. Fellas, is it gay to be a racist? That's probably a think piece on the way. Coming up, we got some science. Coming up, we got some sports. But right now, I do believe it is time for the second edition of our returning segment, The List, right here. Now it's time for The List. Today, we've got the best ways to know if you were left behind in the rapture.
Number 3.
You can finally get a table for a lunch on a Sunday.
Number 2.
Your social media feed is free of all your friends from high school praising a demagogue.
Number 1.
And the best way to know if you were left behind, Jesus just asked a bum a cigarette and said, "Oof, glad they're gone." And that's The List. Jerry, do you have the, I got to get you in, Jerry, to talk about the rapture. Let me make sure. I changed the call-in here. We can do some science here in a second. Ooh, I just got booked on a show. Oh, man, where did I... This show is all about me typing... There it is. There, I got Jerry's email address. Talk about the rapture, Jerry. All right, everybody. What should we do here now? I love the music playing. It's just going to play. I think we should do some science. Did I get just booked? No, I just... I went to check my email, and I got booked for a headlining show in December. Well, it's going to be a great time. I'm going to be headlining from my car when I move into it December 2nd. All right. The music is a bop. Oh, Svetnik says the music is a bop. Let me tell you something. That music, I'll tell you the secret. That music actually is something I stole from Collider. That was a production track we had. And I would do it for some Collider news I was doing there for a while when we thought about launching me as the Collider news anchor, but didn't quite use it. And then when I left, I had access to it. So I just took it and used it for my own stuff. Corporate theft, everybody. Corporate theft. Let's get some science going here. I've been dumb tonight. I've just been dumb for 27 minutes. And we are going to bring in Dr. Addie. Addie, how are you doing here?
Ken, I just found out that coconuts kill 150 people a year.
Laserbolt asked about horses. I think, Addie, this needs to be fully investigated here by the Blathering Science Department. The actual crazy deaths that still exist, they're still out there that you wouldn't think of.
And it's apparently by getting hit by one falling from a tree.
Oof. How, here's the thing. Fate and destiny, I'll question what those really are. I'll question what that really means. But if you get hit by a coconut and die, I think that was meant to be.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of Darwinism in that.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
This is unrelated story. I was talking to an old police officer friend of mine, and we were talking about the concept of instant death. Are there surprising enough deaths where you don't even have a millisecond to have a life flash before your eyes, right? And there was a lot of examples, but we were unsure. It was a philosophical conversation, Dr. Addy. But he goes, I do know, I think, one story in which someone died instantly with no thought. There was a guy walking past a construction site, and a concrete floor toppled over onto him, smashing him immediately. And we were like, yeah, I think that guy probably just gone. So we'll look it up. I don't know how many people per year are squished by concrete on construction sites.
I hope he went instantly.
Yes. I don't even want the half millisecond at that point.
No, there. I don't even want the half millisecond realizing what's about to happen.
Right? Yeah. And there was not footage or anything of it, but the way the investigation went, it just seemed like he was bebopping along, enjoying his life. And the next thing you know, I don't even know if he hurt, you would think you would hear, oh, whoa, or something, but I don't know. But anyways,
I've walked through, I shouldn't say through, by a lot of construction sites. They're loud.
Yeah. Horribly loud. And that, Addie, is just the inappropriate catcalling you're probably having to deal with. So, Laserbolt asked a great philosophical question about Temple of Doom. I wonder about the poor dude in the Temple of Doom that got sucked into the rock crusher. Oh, I hate that death, Laserbolt. I got to tell you, because he knew. He knew. And it's one of my nightmares to be like, this is going to be horrendous, and it's happening, and I can't stop it. I think about that too much, Laserbolt. Any other weird death numbers out there that you know of, Addie, before we start the main segment?
10 to 15 people every winter get killed by icicles.
Jeez, see, again.
I found a listicle, Ken, that was things that kill more people every year than sharks.
Love this. I love this. We've got to. This needs to be. Maybe we'll make it into. Dare I say, a fun poll in a future episode. When we return. By the way, everyone, I think we're dark as a broadcast until next Thursday. I kind of forgot I had a wedding Saturday night, so no, I was going to debut the Blathering Silly Saturdays. That'll be the week after, and then I'm going to be traveling back from Arizona Monday. So I totally forgot. Programming update on that. So let's make tonight a big winner as we end the month for broadcasting. But all right, Addie, I love this. Late in the fourth quarter, you were like, I got a play I want to run. What are we going? What are we doing?
I would like to ask who wants to learn some organic chemistry.
Ooh. Anyone in the audience? Yes, I think we do.
Okay.
All right.
So I learned something tonight from one of my coworkers that I was like, I have to share this with my favorite blathering community.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it. All right. You tell me when to bring up the graphic.
Let's go ahead and throw this graphic up and scare everyone.
Boom. All right.
So what you are looking at, the main focus of this graphic is the chemical structure of acetaminophen.
I've seen it. Okay. Walk me through it.
Okay. So you've got the lines and the letters. That is the chemical structure of acetaminophen. And what that is constructed of, because chemists name everything, in the first sort of green parentheses, you have what we call an acetyl group. So that chemical structure, we call it an acetyl group.
And this is the dumb guy in the bar. Acetyl is not a dinosaur from Jurassic Park 5.
No.
Okay. What do we got?
In the black parentheses with the NH, that is called an amino group.
Okay.
And then the big hexagon with the OH hanging off of it is called a phenol group.
Okay. I've heard of amino groups.
Yeah, you have amino acids. That's the building block of your DNA.
Okay.
And proteins and whatnot.
So we put this all together.
So you put this all together and you get acetylaminophenol.
Okay. But that's too long.
That's too long. Chemists are lazy, Ken. We are lazy by nature. We don't like to put all of the letters in things if we can possibly help it. I always joke with my students that chemists are lazy by nature. That's why we took the word mole and abbreviated it MOL. We just couldn't be bothered to write the E on the end.
Yes. But so my question quickly here to the lazy chemists out there, yourself apparently included, is we have acetaminophen, but we take it from acetylaminophenol. I'm saying that wrong.
No, you're not.
We pretty much only drop the YL
and the OL.
And the OL. Yes. That's all we drop.
That's all we drop because chemists are lazy. We don't like to include all the letters.
But lazy, but that's what's fascinating to me is it's lazy, but it's also still like a lot of work. Like I would just call it acetafol or something. Do you chemists, if you're building up something new, do you sit around like burning heaters, throwing whiskeys back, just dreaming up some of these names?
No, Ken. The reason that all of everything still has to be there because it tells you the structure. It tells you it's an acetyl, an amino, and a phenol.
Okay.
We just made it a little less tongue-tie-y.
A little, well, not enough for the false prophet president, but close enough.
Well, if you have some organic chemistry knowledge, though, you can pronounce acetaminophen. Because it's acetylaminophenol.
Naturally.
But the part that blew my mind tonight, when talking to my coworker about this, is the fact that most of the letters they left out is where you get Tylenol.
Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Tylenol. Yes. They just tossed in an E to make it sound pretty.
Well, yeah, they left in the enol from the acetaminophen. But yeah, if you look at that's what I tried to underline. So the underlines on the bottom are the acetaminophen, and then the lines on the top are your Tylenol.
I see it.
And
898 Forever said, "Whoa!"
It blew my mind.
This is on the level, Addie. I'm gonna bring down the photo here for a second. We can bring it back up if we need to. This is like on the level when you first realize that Arby's stands for RB roast beef. Like you're blowing minds here with this.
Yeah. Yeah, or there was a grocery store chain in HEB or in Texas called HEB, and it was some guy's initials, but they made it Here Everything's Better.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
Yeah, no, it blew my mind. Because I am not an organic chemist. I don't do a lot of organic chemistry, and so every once in a while I learn things about organic chemistry that just blow my mind, that just makes so much logical sense. Like, for example, an amino acid is called an amino acid because it's an amine group and a carboxylic acid group bonded together, and so we call it an amino acid. But yeah, he drew this on the board like he was telling me something I already knew, and he blew my mind.
I love this. I love this. Yeah, no, I got to admit, and again, dumb guy at the end of the bar. But all jokes aside, acetaminophen is not necessarily, it rolls off the tongue if you learn how to say it, but my tongue stumbles around. I mix the letters up in my brain. Of all the things that the false prophet does, I was going to let him off the hook a little bit for that. But I did, while I was like, why not just cut? I mean, why Tylenol? I had that thought. And here it is, Addie. You answered it. You solved the riddle for the ages.
I like I said, I learned something tonight, and that was why I messaged you very quickly when I got home and I was making dinner at the same time, because I was like, I need to share this with people who appreciate my nerdiness.
You found a good spot for this. I do agree, though. Ranger Donald, I didn't favor it. Where did that graphic go? Where did Ranger Donald says he sees? Here it is. Ranger Donald says, I see a person kicking a giant hexagon. And now that's all I see too. We got the little guy over here on the left. He's booting that hexagon. It's like some kind of weird game we just created, some sort of wizard-based kind of game. Absolutely love that. Love that. Beautiful. This is why the science segment exists, Addie. You know, remember a couple of months ago, you're like, the science, the news is so depressing. We don't want to run away from it, but I want to use this segment to change the world. And I think you changed the world tonight.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to call an audible in the fourth quarter.
Perfect. And by the way, how is your fantasy team doing?
I am playing Laser this week. So I don't know if you saw what I posted, and I don't know if Steve saw it either, but since Steve's here, I would like to defend myself.
Go ahead. What needs to be defended?
I've been catching up on my podcasts.
Okay.
I'm almost there. I am perpetually behind. But I was listening to the September 8th episode of the Blathering, which I was not here for because I was on a secret mission.
Yeah.
From God. And Steve made a very disparaging remark implying that I am only into football because my favorite pop star is engaged to an NFL player.
Whoa, producer Steve, just a villain, just a heel turn like I didn't expect. What's your response? I didn't see it. My fantasy team is 0-3, and I just kind of refuse to look at the app until I win. What did you respond? How do you defend yourself? Which you need to defend.
I would just like to say that I have been a football fan, specifically of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, since the 90s. And in this essay, I will wax poetically about John Gruden and Tony Dungy and Monty Kiffin and the Tampa 2 defense.
I mean, the Tampa 2, that's Monty Kiffin. Yeah, you're saying all these wonderful names, though. You know, Dungy and Gruden could go to hell in a handbasket. But and though Gruden might end up the Dolphin coach. Oh no, I don't know about that. Look, if you've been there since then, if you at one point thought about getting a orange creamsicle Tampa Bay Buck jersey, you're legit. You're in.
I think they had just changed.
Oh.
Changed.
I for one loved the creamsicles uniforms. I was sad to see them go, but I also got
They
it.
played
I
them
liked
last Monday.
They did. But I liked the pewter. I like where they ended up. I like the early 2000s. 898 for M points out now between you and Steve. Baby, now we've got bad blood.
But I will say right now, Ken, the thing that I am wrestling with is who I am going to start at quarterback.
Okay, what's your options? Walk it through.
So my starting quarterback was Joe Burrow.
Oh, turf toe gone. Got it.
So I have been shuffling around quarterbacks since then. I managed to get Cincinnati's backup quarterback, but he completely shit the bed last week.
Who is it? Who's the backup now?
Browning.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah. I don't even know.
Yeah. So my choices are: I can start Tua, who was my backup quarterback.
Okay.
Or I can start Brock Purdy, who is currently questionable to start because he also effed up his toe, just not badly as Joe Burrow.
Let me tell you something. Monday night, the Dolphins season on the line. It's already done. Addy, I've got to represent my Dolphins. I say you start Tua. Start Tua.
Well, Laser, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm playing.
Oh, see, he's trying to uncut it. You know, you don't trust Forest Meats over there. Don't trust Forest Meats.
I will say I am currently projected to win, but I have been projected to win every game, and I'm 1-2.
I've been projected to lose, and I have. I'm 0-3. All right, we'll do some sports at the top of the hour. Addy, I am very happy to have you here, and very happy to have you in the Fantasy League. Thank you for this fourth quarter audible.
Of course, Ken. Of course. I'm going to get back to sweating over quarterbacks.
Sweat over quarterbacks. I vote Tua. Oh, Ranger Donald says Ken is 0-3, so do you trust Ken's opinion? Come on now. All right, let's take a quick call here from Chris. Then we got Jerry after that, and then we'll do some sports. Chris, good to have you back calling in the show. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Ken. Glad to be back. Sorry, it's been a minute. Life's been a little crazy, but happy to be calling back in.
All good. What's on your mind tonight? Do you have any quarterback questions?
No, not quarterback questions, but Jalen Hurts is looking pretty good for us, so that actually leads into my question. So I was actually at the Eagles game on Sunday with the blocked field goal return to end the game. And I wanted to ask you, because I've had some amazing sports moments in my life. I got to see, huge Phillies fan as well. Got to see like Reese Hoskins' bat spike against the Braves in the playoffs a couple of years ago, where I felt like the whole stadium was shaking. So this was another one where I felt like this was I couldn't believe it sports moment. It turns out my friends and I, because he was running to the end zone that we were in, we had 10 rows behind the end zone. Can actually see like our blurry figures in one of the videos, like jumping up and down. Yeah. Nice. So what's an unforgettable live sports moment for you? Not that you were watching on TV, but something that you were there for. And yeah, I might even add this. I don't know if you can get this specific, but for me, it was we had people leaving in our section. And listen, I love the Philadelphia sports fans, but everyone was like, this is like a 42-yard field goal, 43-yard field goal. This guy's got it. The game's over. Let's beat the traffic. And people didn't see the block field goal and the return to win the game. So best sports moment for you, or is there a sports moment where it was like, I can't believe you all left and missed this?
No, I'm trying to think of I've been to a lot of games, but of nothing that's historic in terms of I was there for blank and blank night. I was there. I watched the last games of Jeff Kent and Greg Maddox's career. It was the only playoff game I've ever seen in person. Dodgers Phillies. It was the game the Phillies won. This would be probably 08, 09. Someone can look up when Kent and Maddox retired, but they were playing for the Dodgers playoff game, and I watched them kind of finish their careers. I'll never forget that. I also was there for perhaps the last or one of the last starts in Oral Hershiser's career. It was against the Cardinals. I try to remember because my memory maybe has changed some of the details, if I'm honest. But it was a game. Hershiser was starting. He had come back to the Dodgers. This was like kind of the end. And warm-ups, everything's good. Cardinals come to the plate, and Oral Hershiser hit a few batters and suddenly could not get the ball more than 55 feet towards home plate. Yeah. He was done, and I'm pretty sure that was kind of it, if not one of the final ones, if it's not the actual thing. That was kind of tough, but it was like, I loved Oral Hershiser growing up, so that was kind of sweet. I saw Sammy Sosa win a game at Dodger Stadium, but it wasn't a walk-off because it was top of the ninth, but it was impressive to watch. Got to see the hop in person. I'll say the thing that I saw in person, and this is going back to 90s football. Some of you might remember the great college football player turned Raider, I think at one point, Napoleon Kaufman, who was a running back. Great player. But in high school, he was at Lompoc High School, a nearby high school to me, Arroyo Grande High School. We had a running back named Clemente Santine. Great name, great athlete. They were both the two biggest college high school running backs in the state probably at the time, going to college. And there was a game, no joke, they both ran like 80-yard touchdowns on each other for like 3 or 4 straight plays. And it was just one of those, this was a titanic matchup, like Kaufman's senior year, I think Santine's junior year. And we, the crowd, everyone was out, reporters, local media, scouts, everyone, and they delivered. And I've just never seen that where it was like video game. Kickoff, boom, handoff, Kaufman runs for a touchdown. Kickoff, handoff, Santine runs for a touchdown. Kaufman, boom, runs for a touchdown. And it was just crazy to watch. Crazy to watch. Clemente Santine probably, I think, would have gone on to have a pro career, but I do think he at one point hurt himself. Kaufman does go to, I think it was Washington, and then for college, and then he goes up to the Raiders and the NFL for a while. Yep. So yeah, Teller says he went to U of Washington. So there you go. Producer Steve Hayes got an answer. Kemba Walker buzzer beater, Big East Championship. Hoopers no. Narcolepsy. I was at the 1994 World Cup game, USA versus Colombia, when our own goal led to the dude getting murdered a month later. Well, at least you weren't a witness for that. Mandalorian Jedi was at the 18 game at Diamondback Stadium where they ran out of 18 run game, ran out of pitchers, and had to put in Mark Grace. Oh, that's good. Love that. Addie says, was in grad school, Baylor managed to run out of the quarterbacks during the game. They all got injured. Started snapping to the running back. That could work. That's beautiful. I wish I'd seen more though. Chris, you're making me realize I haven't seen as much as I wanted.
I think I've just gotten lucky in recent years. And I again, I know I've said on here, I'm a high school teacher. I always tell my high schoolers around here, because they're like, they complain if like the Phillies lose a game, or the Eagles, they look so bad. I'm like, you guys don't realize how good you have it right now. I just got lucky, and it's a cool thing, and I liked about all the answers here. It's like, it doesn't have to necessarily be, I saw a winning play or I saw a playoff win, but it's like seeing something you've never seen before in sports. So for me, like the blocked field goal this weekend was like, and it was 2 of them. Obviously, it was it was wild. So I appreciate you sharing, Ken, and I'm happy everyone else is sharing in the chat. Figured it'd be a good conversation starter. So
absolutely is indeed. I appreciate you, Chris. Thanks for calling in, buddy. Good to have you here.
Thanks. Take care.
Chris calling in. All right. It is almost time here. Let me get something set up. We are going to do an unofficial report on the rapture that was supposed to happen this week with our religious expert, Jerry the Canon Junkie. Jerry, you're still here. Not raptured. Let's get into it.
No, can't you see? I was raptured. I'm gone.
Oh,
I'm in heaven.
Now. I see the microphone.
Listen, they let me bring my podcasting stuff. Surprisingly, he's cool with it. Up here. But I've been gone since Tuesday. I've been eating free chicken wings. They have fountains full of chicken wings, Ken. Fountains of chicken wings.
Chicken wing by the fountain? Or is it just
but no. The fountain actually flows with chicken wings, and the chicken wings don't clog up the plumbing. It's incredible. I can't believe it. Then there's one with blue cheese next to it, and there's one with ranch, and you can listen. And everybody likes both. You have to like both to get in here. By the way, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. So wait, we were promised streets of gold, but really it's rivers of blue cheese and ranch.
No. There's some streets of gold and stuff like that, but it's in like the nicer parts of town and stuff like that.
I didn't time out. I didn't know heaven was divided by economic class.
Well, I mean, they're not gonna let me in the same like area as like and I don't know like I don't know like they're not gonna let me in the same area. Yeah, no. Okay. This it's for the guys. Those, believe it or not, those guys straight to heaven apparently. They really like the to the gold part. But yeah, man, no, listen, the rapture was great. I just hope things are going okay down there. Okay. Because, as
I said in my segment earlier, I can get a table at the restaurant I like on Sunday. Jesus and I have been hanging out. As producer Steve does have a question for you.
Let me see.
Yeah, producer Steve says, a question for Jerry. What brand does Jesus smoke? He's is he a basic bitch marble guy or an American Spirits type? What's he rolling up there?
Let me see. Well, listen, we were hanging out outside of the bowling alley last night, actually, me and Jesus. And it's, by the way, 52 lanes up here. I don't know why. Wow. It's just there's only one bowling alley, and it's 52 lanes. But it's it's still really nice.
Do they have neon lanes at 10 p.m.? Is it kick in?
Oh yeah. And they play and they every night they do the cha-cha slide. That's just like beautiful. Prerequisite. That's true. Yeah, prerequisite. But he actually, believe it or not, he's a Pall Mall guy.
Pall Mall guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Asked answered.
He loves Pall Mall.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So does you being up there, is this are we confirming a pre-trib rapture or is this mid-trib rapture? It can't be post-tribulation rapture.
Listen, all I gotta say is you better not don't be typing pre-trib on the internet, because it will take you to some sites that Florida does not want you to go to. Okay. So let's just be careful. Just be careful.
But hold on. Do you need like a NordVPN account to use the internet up there? How does that work?
No. You know what? Honestly, St. Paul. He invented the not Minnesota, the actual saint. Sorry, not the city. I just want to make sure and clarify. He invented the internet. Yeah.
Okay. So you just get it up there.
This is where it comes from. This is where the Wi-Fi comes from.
Wi-Fi.
People are worried about 5G.
Yeah.
That's like, you know what the G stands for? God.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that's why I'm having trouble getting. I'm having trouble getting the internet in Burbank because I'm too far from heaven. I gotta reposition.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you kind of got to be in good with the big man. You know what I mean? But you bring him a pack of smokes. You bring him like some 5 gum every now and then, and he warms up to you.
Can I ask you about the process of getting up there? Were you just walking along, and next thing you know, boom, you wake up there? Was it a slower process? Is it like a Star Trek Beam Me Up? Was there some kind of heavenly Uber that showed up to give you the ride? How did it work?
Right. Ken, there I was outside of my favorite local flapjack establishment, right? And the next thing I knew, I looked down to check my phone, and I got an alert on my phone that said, hey, it's time. And alert. Surprisingly, my feet lifted up first, which I think was actually a technical difficulty, because I hit the ground face first. Because I'm looking at my phone too, right? Yeah. So I'm looking at my phone, and it's just like straight down into that, And I mean, this place again, it is the best pancakes you'll have outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yeah, but I mean, it's a crazy joint. People go crazy there. The entire sidewalk is just coated in maple syrup of different kinds. So,
heaven is much more food centric than I anticipated based on what
well, that was on Earth, but yeah, the pancake places up here,
right?
Never runs out, man. You can eat like the stacks like they eat on Scooby Doo. That's the kind of stacks they just bring you. That's one pancake. Okay, it's insane.
Wow. And I imagine you don't get full. You don't get weighted down by the pancakes and the syrup. It's just go.
No, you don't have to unbutton your pants or nothing. You just like you sit back. You have the satisfaction, and you just keep going. You just keep going.
No bye-bye belt is what you're saying.
No bye-bye belt. No bye-bye belt. And look, listen, he's cool with the whole gluttony thing as much as people like to say that he's not.
Really?
He likes it up here. He likes it up here.
There's a lot of things. Foodie. Yeah, a lot of things that people attribute to him or the Bible that aren't actually in there, or they're misinterpreted. So maybe the gluttony thing was an encouragement that we missed.
Lots of things. Yeah.
My final big question for you, Jerry. Two questions. Two questions. Are you up there alone? Anyone else that you know? Clearly, I've been left behind. There's absolutely no way Alden Diaz was going to make it up there.
No. He tried to grab onto my ankles, but it didn't work out. Yeah, I'm gonna say. Yeah.
I can't imagine Scott. See, Scotty's kind of a tweener because of his job. You'd think he'd be up there, but because of his band,
in both camps,
he's probably in hell. Yeah. So was he with you? Did he watch this happen?
No, listen, and actually, it's just me and the cast of Glee up here.
Wow.
Surprisingly, we're the only ones who made it. I don't know exactly what that I don't know what the checklist is and things like that. I just know that I checked most of the boxes. Okay,
that makes sense.
And that whole 144,000 thing.
Yeah.
That's just a rumor. That's a rumor started by Big Easter.
Big Easter.
Yeah.
Big Easter.
Big Easter.
Big
Easter trying to steal Jesus's holidays and chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just I think Big Easter is lying about the 144,000 from the 12 tribes. And I think it's just, it's a tourism grift for the city of Petra.
It is.
They just want people to get to Petra and leave Bible tracts.
Hey, you're dead on the money, I think. Follow the money and it leads you to the Easter bunny. And he's trying to grift off Jesus's, he's trying to take a little off the top for himself. Greedy little rabbit.
The big final question I have is upon arrival, I love hotels. Is there a check-in process? Is it like a Residence Inn by Marriott? You get a free cookie, you get your miles, upped on your card, you get your points. Is there a turn-down service, a breakfast in the morning? There's apparently a lot of food up there. What's the check-in like?
Okay, so the breakfast, surprisingly, continental.
Okay.
Which it's okay, And I was thinking a waffle iron and stuff like that. No. Listen, this is heaven, but it ain't like they don't got money. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't a Waldorf Astoria. Okay.
No. Listen. We knew what we were paying for. But no, there was honestly, surprisingly, just a QR code check-in once you get up here. It's not that bad. Yeah. Surprisingly easy. Yeah, very simple. Again, it
sounds like heaven had
creator of 5G. Yeah.
Right. Well, it sounds like heaven had to downgrade the staffing. Probably the tariffs probably hit them as well.
Just a little bit. You know what? Honestly, they've had a lot of reciprocal tariffs because Trump puts a tariff on God, God puts a tariff on him. And when I say tariff, it's a plague upon his house. But it's just like it's taken too many. They don't seem to be working for some reason.
Yeah.
And so, hey, man, we're doing the best we can.
No, was the escalator maybe the first sign that it was time to collect on the tariffs from God? Was that maybe a warning?
There was supposed to be a trap door that opened up and dropped him into hell, but that malfunctioned too at that exact moment. And so they're all just as confused as we are up here, and so
sounds about right.
Man.
Well,
man.
Jerry,
they're trying.
I appreciate you calling in. Appreciate the update. I was, I was worried of for all of us left behind. And now, I'm not so much worried, but I'm jealous because of the food you get to try. I appreciate the report.
Hey, it's okay, my child. Have a wonderful day. Peace be with you. And I'll come visit you soon. I'll come back someday.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
Just don't spy on me while I'm in the shower or sleeping in. Things happen.
No promises. Okay.
Thank you, Jerry.
Right.
Check out Jerry on the Bombad cast. Jerry's going to have to do the Bombad cast from heaven. That's going to be difficult for Scotty. There might be some sort of competition between the two of them. Heavenly tension between both of them there. We got some sports here, some NFL picks coming up. Before we do that, I want to get to JMB calling in from another part of the world. JMB, how you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How are you doing, Ken?
I am good. I'm good.
Okay. Great. Sorry. I kind of wanted to rewind the conversation a little bit back to the earlier part of the show.
Yep.
With Steve Nosferatu Miller.
Yes.
And the fact that that kind of the stuff that the administration is doing, right? Like it drives me insane because it's like the ultimate form of gaslighting. You know,
yes.
where they use language directly out of I don't know if these are terms I should be using because I don't know if that gets you a strike for a certain World War II German party.
Yeah, I just say a World War II era German political party.
Political party, yeah. It's like they use language straight out of their playbook, and then when you go, that's some not the N word, but the other
the other one
word crap.
Yeah,
they're like, what are you talking about? You're overreacting. What do you mean? It's like
yes,
those guys didn't spontaneously pop up in 1941 or 1939 or 1936 or whatever date you want to use, right? There was a buildup, where there's Kristallnacht and he takes over and and all this other stuff. And so it's let's not get to 1942 Germany if we can prevent getting to that point. And like I said, the language that they use, it's directly out of the freaking playbook.
It is you're hitting me where I've been at this week, JB, which is why I keep bringing up Miller's words. And I like that you've used the term gaslighting because that's a term that's often thrown around and maybe misused. But it's also a phrase that describes something that is real when it happens. And yeah, that's exactly it. I think 5 years ago, definitely 10 years ago, if I was doing the Blathering in 2016, I would have said, hey, I didn't vote for them, but you know what? Maybe let's not call them that, right? Let's not go to that default. There's a lot of history tied to that. You're playing around with the trauma of the Jewish people. Let's not do that. And I still, for most point, will say, hey, maybe pick your battles on that. But I believe that less and less because of things like this. And now it is just the truth. And to deny it, it's gaslighting. It's confusing. It's literally. I guess that's a result of being gaslit. Where you're sitting there, you're just like, are you? It's no longer, are we seeing the same things? Are we hearing the same things? Are you even engaging with this? And I have discovered, JMB, my own life and my own circles, that there are folks, we talked about the algorithm separating us in terms of some people saw Charlie Kirk as someone who just spread the good word and said some encouraging things and stood up for what he believed in. Some people only saw that version of him. I still think that's a weird, troubling version, but they saw that version. And if you watch those clips, they go, all right, I guess if that's all you saw, you're confused why everyone hated him. But the other side was the reality of what he did, reality of what he said, the reality of his propaganda and his style of debate, which is about creating, straw men and heightening, starting with a heightened statement and working his way down to his actual message and all of it being a dog whistle. There's all that stuff going on. But Stephen Miller, beat for beat, uses a speech that's from 1932, JMB, to your point. It wasn't from 41. It wasn't even from 39 when Germany marches on Poland. It was a speech turning someone who had been killed into a martyr to move the movement forward. And that's frightening that this guy takes the stage at a memorial and does that. And I'm with you. It's gaslighting. And I think now in conversation, I don't want to attack anyone who disagrees with me over this issue, JMB. I just want to put it in front of them and tell me, what do you think then? How do I react to that? You don't think it's what it is? Tell me what to think. And I want to see their answers.
Yeah. It's exactly, and it's even, it's with the Kirk thing, it also drives me insane because it's well, I can show you I don't know, videos of Nixon being nice, or saying something quote unquote
Nixon,
good.
Yeah.
or whomever, you take your pick, right? It's like, do you remember Marge Schott?
Absolutely remember Marge
Yeah,
Schott, Cincinnati Red owner.
Cincinnati Reds owner, exactly. Remember how she said, "Oh, he did some good things," right?
Yes.
Or it's the oh, there are good people on both sides, and it's like, Jesus, what?
Yeah, when that is not a nuanced conversation or a conversation starter, but you know when it's being used as a shield. To bring up the example from Marge Schott, who was an interesting character as a female owner at a time where that was not the baseball wanted her out. She was loved in Cincinnati. I know some people who were born and raised in Cincinnati are like, dude, don't you talk bad about Marge Schott in that city. But then the reality of who she was creeps in, and it's just part of it. Yeah.
And
interesting. Well,
I don't
thank
know how
you,
you're
JB.
on time. Oh, I got two things.
Hit me. Let's roll.
Okay. Real quick. The along with that, the whole gaslighting thing, the thing that also drives me nuts is that, like, you've got, in keeping with the gaslighting theme, is that, you have conservatives who say, government is incompetent, it's inefficient, it's also corrupt, right? So then they tell you, vote for me because only I can fix this situation, right? And then they get in and you have the situation that you do, right? And it's like watching a person like walk up to a car, right? And they go, this car is a lemon, a lemon, it's no good. And then you're like, well, but what are you talking about? It runs, if you put gas in it, if you do the things that you have to, it runs, it functions, it works. Then they slash the tires and go, oh, see, it's a lemon. And you're like, wait a minute. Yeah, it doesn't work now because you sabotaged it. And you see that with like the gutting of the government, agencies, and like ousting of the people that aren't strictly loyal to Mango Mussolini. And then they go, oh, look, government, and they can play both sides, because if the people become dissatisfied with how the government, the results, they can say, well, see, government doesn't work. Right. Yeah. And then they can then come back and be like, oh, but vote for us and we'll fix all your problems.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it pushes up against this kind of idea and the issue of, if you say enough kind of half truths and little truths, or get the idea of, the government doesn't work, because I think we all can over a course of our life agree with that. And I even look at, Democrats now, and it's like, there's some people that want to fix things, and there's some people that just want to maintain the status quo because they're benefiting from it too. And I think it's okay to toss that out there when you see it and when it's going on, and it can be frustrating. But so if people don't, I heard something, and it's not something new for me or even the person I heard it on a podcast say this weekend. The idea of people vote for different. Right? They vote for the last thing, from a distance politically, the last thing didn't work. I'm going to vote for the new option just because that seems like the right thing to do. And you can really take advantage of that. And I think what you're talking about is related to that. It's broke. We broke it, and we're going to break it more, but we'll trust us. And I don't think people dig in beyond that, as we have learned, as the farmers have learned.
Okay, real quick. I said the last two things. The last two things now. Ken, did you ever read the comic book Transmetropolitan?
I did not. No.
Okay. In it, there's like an election cycle, and the main central character, Spider, is a journalist, and he goes to talk to the two candidates, and one is like this newcomer that he doesn't know, and one is like sort of like a lifetime politician. And I was like, it feels like, I remember in the 2016 election, I felt like there was like this weird old parallel, not that it was meant to be, between like Hillary, sort of like the lifetime politician, and Mango Mussolini, the new guy. But that was all I wanted to say. And and to end on a high note instead of a down note, football.
Yes.
So not to pour wound, or not to pour wound in your salt, not to pour salt in your wound.
Salt my wound.
Yes. But I was wondering if you were a gambling man, Ken. Are you a gambling man?
No, last year I should have. I would have made money with producer Steve, but other than I do the NFL picks, but I don't often gamble.
So well, then this conversation's over. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, what's your dream?
The proposal was if the Dolphins. Well, actually, the Dolphins are 0-3 at the moment, right?
They're 0-3.
If the Dolphins or your fantasy team go 0-7, would you be willing to watch Wicked?
I'll watch it in spite of any football record.
Okay.
But if it's a specific bet, we'll when we're 0-6, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. The other part of that equation was if it goes 0-14, would you watch one episode of DS9? 44 minutes.
0-14. Yeah, sure. I'll take that bet.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna get to 0-14. I think there's enough talent in Miami that they'll win. It's not gonna be a great season, maybe. It'd be a historic comeback if they make the playoffs at this point. But 0-14. I'll watch the pilot episode of DS9.
All righty.
I got a lot of people rooting against the Dolphins. JB, thank you for calling in. I appreciate your thoughts on this.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks a lot.
JB, calling in. Let's get a little bit NFL action going on. So thank God for producer Steve. He, with baby in one arm, gave me my record. Last week, I actually went 3-2. I got wins from the Dolphins. I didn't get the win, but I picked them to cover, and they just did against Buffalo. Eagles and Chargers. They got me the wins. So 3-2, 6-9 on the season. So there's still enough time for me to turn around. We're only going into week 4. You're starting to learn more about these teams, even though I bet with my heart more than the stats. So as we head to week 4 in the NFL, let us dive in. We've got 5 games to look at here, and we are going first to Philadelphia, going to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is the underdog. Plus 3.5 there, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. Tampa Bay, I like where Tampa Bay is this year. I like all the Baker Mayfield stuff. I like them being at home, but I feel the Eagles picked up the confidence they needed with the big win last week. I think the defense is looking a little more motivated. I think it will be close, but I think Barkley's going to be pissed. He was kind of stuffed a little bit last week. So I am going with Philadelphia. I got to keep bigger score here. And though I think it will be close, I don't think Tampa Bay is going to cover there. So that is the first game of the week. The second game of the week. Yeah, Laserbolt says I hate rooting for the Bucs there too. Second game, Minnesota traveling to Pittsburgh. We got Pittsburgh, the actual underdog at home, 2.5. I don't know why I keep saying point like I'm doing fractions or ERA in baseball. I think I'm going to say straight up, I think the Steelers are going to win at home. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think you keep the Steelers down. The Steelers also not having like a horrible year at 2-1. I think like a lot of teams in the NFL, it's still early. We're still finding all of our feet underneath us there. But I like the Steelers to get angry at home. So we're going with that. And I don't at this point trust I don't at this point trust the quarterback Minnesota McCarthy and everything going on there. So going with that. And then the next up here, we got the 3-0 Colts traveling to LA with the Rams. The Rams favored, but it's a 3.5 point spread there. The Colts are riding high, especially after starting the season by kicking my Dolphins' ass. 3-0. Look at that. I also like what their defense has done. They are still among the league leaders in points allowed in terms of not giving up points. But teams have to fall. They're not going to be. I think the Colts could be in the playoffs the way they're playing. They're beyond a 1 week wonder. But I feel, and you got the Rams at 2-1. I think the Rams need to assert their position. They're more motivated, and I really think Colts traveling all the way to LA. It's not going to work out for them. It's not going to be as close as they want it. I'm going Rams there in that game. Chris King's taking the Rams. Laserbolt's taking the Rams. That's right. McCarthy is hurt. Even more reason. And Stafford loves being home. He does. He's old, Laserbolt. He's old. We all like being at home. Big game of the week. It's probably the game of the week. We got the Ravens traveling to Kansas City. And then we got the Ravens. Is that actually right there that the Ravens are favored? Kansas City, the underdog, given got 2.5 points there. Woo, man, that's tough. I don't like the Ravens. The Ravens are coming off. They've got some. It's an interesting season. This is a team that has just got some players that I'm terrified to play against as a Dolphin fan. We got Kansas City coming off their disappointing performance there. Well, they finally did get the win, right? They finally did get the win. But the disappointing start to the season. Man, but Baltimore 1-2. Look at them sitting. It's early, but Baltimore 1-2, sitting there with Cleveland. The Ravens are looking for a big win, says Laserbolt. I agree with that. But Kansas City at home, I think they're getting a little bit of their feet underneath them there. And Baltimore traveling, this is a great team. This is a Super Bowl caliber team that's just a little lost, I think, right now. Not a football expert, just a football fan going for the heart. Is it right to perceive? Yeah, Steve, I know it's right. I know you prepared it right, but I'm just saying morally, is that right? Final game of the week. You know it, in a game that I will not be able to watch because I do not have the way to watch Monday Night Football. The Miami Dolphins hosting the New York Jets, not the New York Football Giants, the New York Jets. 2 0-3 teams at the bottom of the AFC East. Oh, the sports programmers at ABC and ESPN and everywhere, they're probably really upset that this one is a prime time game. They should have flexed this game. They should have moved this. Game. I think without a doubt, the Dolphins are absolutely going to win. And I think they're going to win by a touchdown. I actually really think that. I liked what I saw last week. One bad penalty away from stopping them on 4th down, which we, no guarantee that we would have scored. Tua throws the bad interception late. It was bad, but what are you going to do? I like what they did before that there. So I am taking the Dolphins. So there we go. I marked this down here. Eagles, Steelers, Rams, Kansas City, Dolphins. No weird picks, just picking the winners right there. Not worried about anyone covering. Just going with that. So there you go. That is where we are with Blathering Sports this week. If you want to call into the show, I'm here for a couple more minutes. And there we go in terms of the main show. Really happy you're all hanging out with me here today. I appreciate you all. I did release a video today on Patreon updating a couple of things. Not anything that I think will overly interest my core audience. You're already here supporting. But I made a little bit of a change to the merch tier. Blathering Live exclusive t-shirt now available over there if you support. And I added an executive producer tier, something that my friend Jeff May does. You can go to the page and figure out more about it if it's something that's right for you. But like I said, just kind of spread the word, put a little more attention to the Patreon page as I continue to move forward here with all the things in the world. Laserbolt points out, there was a guest star in the video, a couple guest stars in the video today. Laserbolt says the squirrels are so calm around my man. I'm telling you, man, there's 2 squirrels that are a little jumpy. There's now 3 blue jays. It's quite a thing. But the squirrels that are calm around me, they really do enjoy it. I shot the latest Blathering mailbag, which, by the way, thanks for those who are checking out that episode. Maybe if you feel comfortable sharing that episode, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. I sat there and filmed that Blathering mailbag right next to Squirrely. She came down and just sat down and almost was like watching me, just sat there eating. It was adorable. Adorable. Also on the channel, thank you, Svetnik, for reminding me of that. I haven't got to the comments yet on that Patreon page. I just released a comedian breaks down his own bad set video. I might put it on YouTube. I don't know. It's a little bit too long, I think, for it to work on YouTube right now, but might use this concept going forward. The other night in Flappers wasn't the greatest of set, wasn't the greatest of show for any of us comics. And I had the video and I was like, I can't really clip it out. Maybe I'll just react to my own set and break down why it didn't work and continue to document my stand-up journey. So it's on the Patreon page as well. I appreciate you all. I think it's about time. No other calls get in here. We'll do this. Be on my way. Shout out to producer Steve, raising a family. Shout out to all of you out there. Those watching later, if you're watching on the replay or listening on the podcast feed, let me know. Let me know you're out there. Comment down below. And if you're watching later, comment about your worst experience on an escalator. I do want to know that. Okay, that's it. We'll see you. Bye.